What's going on, Everett Garage fans? I'm Anthony, and in this episode, we're going to be bringing you a project that I've been excited about for a really long time now. This project isn't something that belongs to me, but it belongs to a family member of mine, and I'm really excited that they are allowing me the opportunity to take this project on and start breathing some life back into this thing. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking something that is very sentimental to our family, and we're going to be reviving it, and we're going to be bringing it back to life. All right, so here's the deal. My sibling was stationed out at Missouri, and they were working on this project for a little while, and they got orders to go to Hickam Air Force Base over in Hawaii. Well, they were super excited to be going over there with their family and getting to have a little slice of paradise. The project went into a trailer and was towed back here to our home and has been sitting in a trailer ever since. And I've had it in my mind a couple of times to go and pick this thing up and bring it down to the house and just get to working on it, but unfortunately timing and finances and COVID and all that stuff just didn't really allow that to happen. So now I've got it worked out to where we're going to get this project back under construction, and I'm super excited to be the one that gets to really spend a lot of time breathing new life into this thing. So without further ado, let me go ahead and just give you guys an introduction into what it is that we're going to be working on. Everyone, I would like to introduce you to this 1970 Chevy C20 that my family affectionately calls Green Monster. This truck has been in our family for quite some time. In fact, it always has been. That's right, my grandfather, who we call Papa, bought this old girl in 1969 as a brand new pickup. He traveled up and down the West Coast as a master carpenter building houses and churches, and this truck was the workhorse that pulled a trailer with all his belongings and tools, enabling him to support his family. Over the years, it changed ownership a few times, but always within the family. My cousin had it down in LA for a while, and then it came back up to where we live after my sibling got their license and struck a deal with my cousin. We always talked about getting it cleaned up and adding a fresh coat of paint. After it was no longer serving as a daily driver, we started messing with things on and off again. New intake manifold, long tube headers with cutouts and dual exhaust, upgrades here and there, but nothing major really got underway. After joining the Air Force, my sibling and their family were in England and Missouri before going to Hawaii. As you can tell, spending time in and out of storage hasn't been kind to this old truck, but now that we have our expanded concrete pad here at Aberrant HQ, we are ready to kick off the project once again. As far as the build plan on this goes, we're going to be doing a lot. We're actually going to be pulling the cab and bed completely off the frame, strip the frame down completely, and finish out some fabrication work on it that needs to be done for the suspension modifications that have already been started. Suspension wise, we're going to be doing airbags up front. The bags are already in the truck, but there's some finish work that needs to get done. And in the rear end, we're staying leaf spring for now, but a spring under axle conversion has already been started. That all needs to be fully welded out with pinion angle getting set and all that stuff. So we'll be wrapping that up. And then getting everything painted and all that for reassembly. Engine and transmission wise, the truck from the factory came with a small block Chevy 350 and a turbo 350 transmission. We're going to be pulling those out of this truck, and in their place we're going to put in a 5.3 liter LS motor and a 4L60E transmission. Once we wrap up all the work on the chassis and the drivetrain of the truck, then we're going to move on to doing some repairs actually on the body. Being a 1970, we've got some areas that have developed rust over time, and those are usually kind of the typical areas that we're seeing it in the rockers, in the lower door skins. We do have some issues in the floorboards because of the seal around the windshield leaking, and in the rain gutters especially. And once we wrap that stuff up, then we're going to look at doing some other modifications on the truck, like relocating the gas tank from inside the cab of the truck and moving that underneath the bed, which is going to mean that we're going to have to fill or shave the gas filler neck And we may also be shaving some of the stake pockets. All right, here in the cab of the truck, we're not looking to do anything too incredibly wild, I don't believe. And some of the things that I know we're doing is we're going to be replacing the factory gauge cluster with a setup that's already been sourced out from Dakota Digital, as well as looking at doing some different options for the radio, as well as heating and air conditioning. This truck from the factory did have heat, but it didn't have an air conditioning system. So I know that's one of the things that we've been talking about doing. I don't know if that will be something that will be a part of this phase of the build or not, but I know it's definitely something that's on the table. Another really interesting upgrade that I know that we're looking at doing during this is actually replacing the factory window regulators with an electric setup, doing some power windows, utilizing the factory cranks actually as the switches, which I think would be really cool to keep that original element of the window cranks, but have that upgraded modern function of the power windows. As we get rolling in this project, you're likely to see several new faces around here. My siblings and my cousins, my dad, my stepdad, they all want to come down and be a part of this project because it's meant so much to all of us, and I couldn't be more thankful for that. Speaking of things that I'm thankful for, thank you for tuning in today and joining us as we embark on this project. I'd like to ask you to consider clicking that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you can stay a part of this journey with us. We're going to be transforming this truck and breathing new life into it while challenging myself to learn some new skills, and I would love for you to stay with us throughout that whole process. Also, if you have any tips or tricks on body work or welding in patch panels to the sheet metal, please consider dropping that information in the comments below. Any bit of information you can give me would be really helpful, as I've not done a lot of that kind of stuff in the past. Also, if you're interested in helping to support the channel, we've also set up a shop over at aberrantgarage.com where you can check out hats and t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff. Every bit of support, from comments to checking out our stuff at the shop, really helps us out, and we really appreciate it. Guys, again, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again next time.